Thank you very much to the Resource Rising Stars organisers for allowing me to present today, and thank you for everyone in the room for attending and listening to all the speakers. Neil McDonald, I'm the co-founder of Gold Hydrogen. We're committed to exploring for natural hydrogen and helium in Australia, and I'll run through our project and the success that we've had today. So, you've all heard about hydrogen. Now, natural hydrogen is formed in the ground, and I'll get to a little bit more than that a bit down the path. In 1920, 1931, the head geologist of South Australia went exploring for oil and gas on the Yorke Peninsula in that green permit area there, and all they discovered was hydrogen, up to 90% purity, no oil and gas, no market at the time, a bit like lithium in WA and the rest of the world. Everyone's known it's there for a long time, but there was no markets. So, in recent advances, you know, the world is pivoting to a net zero, both politically and environmentally, and hydrogen will form part of the mix. There's no doubt about it. It will help transition to get to the net emissions targets. The green permit is granted. It's approximately 7,800 square kilometres. Plus, we have those other areas in the salmon and the grey, totalling close to 75,000 square kilometres in total. We've got scale, and we have very high purity samples of hydrogen at 95.8%, and our helium, we're now seeing 20 to 25% purity for helium. Nobody is getting anywhere close to that in the world. And we have large prospective resources as well. So we've been working with world leaders in CSIRO, Schlumberger, Total Seismic, Savannah. We've been out drilling, and we're confirming that we have very large amounts of, as I said, the natural hydrogen there. I'll go to more slides. 1.3 billion kilograms of natural hydrogen is enough to power South Australia for 40 years, to give you an example. And that is over only about 30% of that green permit. That doesn't take into account the rest of our area. The same with the helium, 41 BCF of helium. The world quite at the moment uses 5 BCF to 6 BCF of helium a year, and no one has that purity. So now, why we're so confident, you'll see in those gold boxes is where the historical results were of Ramsay Oil Bore 1, but also our results of those purity levels. But the other circles you see there, of the green and the blue, that's historical samples from the laboratories in South Australia and the state government's core sheds, where you'll see we have taken those samples, and 29 out of 46 of them confirm helium in those areas, and hydrogen the same. You'll see there, 35 of 46. So we know it's extensive, we know it's across our area. We found it, it's in large numbers. We've drilled 2 holes, got it to surface. We're seeing good rates, good results, and now is to move on to do future sort of exploration and appraisal through to development and project plans and early commercialisation. This is some of the key trends in hydrogen around the world and the global forecasts. As I said, politically and environmentally around the world, there's a decarbonisation occurring. It's an energy source for industry, transport and the like. The technology's there, and the investment around the world is huge. It's looking, on this one, you'll see this, the investment chart. The amount of money getting put in around the world for these reasons, Europe, China, Japan particularly, they're already repurposing their energy grids and their gas turbines to hydrogen turbines. You're already allowed to put 10% of most places around the world in the existing gas pipelines for hydrogen. In South Australia, they changed the legislation that you can put hydrogen into the gas network pipelines. They're building a $600 million hydrogen turbine in South Australia at Whyalla, not very close to us, not too far away. They also need hydrogen for that. And then there's also the steel mills. Steel mills around the world are large carbon producers. They want to go to green steel. Now, why is natural hydrogen the best commercial advantage out there? Mali, M-A-L-I, in Africa, have been producing natural hydrogen for over a decade now. From their data and what we have done with our drilling results to date, you'll see in the yellow box there, the indicators are we can produce hydrogen at the wellhead before transportation for $1 a kilogram or less. You look at what it costs green hydrogen. You've seen a lot of stories about green hydrogen in the market. At best, it's $6 a kilogram before transportation. We have a huge commercial advantage on this front. Not saying it won't work anywhere. There'll be places where that works, but natural hydrogen will have a large commercial advantage. On the helium, you'll see there the purity results. Projects around the world are commercially viable for producing helium at 1% purity. The average is around 2 to 3%. We're now exceeding that and hitting 20 to 25%. There's no helium produced in Australia anymore. That shut down at the end of last year. There's a market here and for the world. It's an early to commercialise. The unit cost is $400 to $500 a unit. It's very lucrative, and at that purities, we believe we're on the path to commercialisation early. Now, for those in your room, apart from party balloons and squeaky voices, helium's also used for medical, healthcare, MRIs, industrial uses, electronic supercomputers, and there's mainly nuclear fusion, one of the best cooling agents as well. There's a very large and growing market for that, and particularly helium-3 as well, which is very rare and coming, and we are looking for that as well. Our results to date, we have done a lot of work. We have done soil sampling confirming hydrogen and helium. We've done the rock chip samples there. We've done airborne survey and magnetics confirming it across the land. We have got large prospective resources for both of those products. We've drilled 2 wells. We've confirmed it's there in large numbers and large and high purities. We want to do further testing, and then we want to make our way to a proof of concept. We want to use that hydrogen and turn it into electricity or transport as a gas and an energy. And we want to bottle the helium sooner than later and start getting commercial cash flow into the business to keep producing. Now, why is it there? Now, iron-rich rocks, seawater, very salinity seawater, high salinity. Hydrolysis, it's causing natural hydrolysis, natural rusting. There's other components there. Could be causing radiolysis. It's splitting the water, splitting it so the hydrogen then migrates from deep below to the surface, and then it gets trapped. It gets trapped at approximately 200 metres below surface. And we're finding it from 200 all the way down to 1,000 metres. You'll see there, that's our prospective resource report, which I went through before. The upside is enormous. This is only over a small area of our permit. These are our logs showing this area. These are the history. We're seeing all the hydrogen spikes. We're seeing the helium spikes. It is there. It's prolific. The helium zone in particular is very large. These are our objectives that I just went through before, that we've been getting samples. We've tested it. We're at the stage where it's optimisation of extracting these resources now and moving towards the pilot program and early commercialisation. You'll see that on this, just to highlight as an example, we have been doing a lot of testing. You see that hydrogen spike there at shallow depths, and then you can see the helium spikes down below as we go deeper. The helium is a 180 metre thick zone with multiple sample areas and zones taken amongst that, producing those results we have to date. it is quite, we're very excited by it, and we've got more data that's still to come. The laboratories have our testing. We're getting data back, and we're quite excited about some of the data we're seeing, and we'll be compiling that and issuing that shortly. That's the recent testing result of our hydrogen. You can see on the 14-day test, as we got longer, the results were getting better and increasing over days and time. It's very positive, very encouraging. Next steps. I've largely gone through what we're doing. We're moving forward. We've got huge areas. We've got a lot of international interest from global oil and gas majors. We're looking next year now, we're planning to drill 2 to 3 wells at the end of first quarter next year to optimise and effectively appraise these wells. This is a little bit like Shale Mark II or CSG Mark II. That's what the commentators are saying. Bill Gates and Bezos, they'll put $300 million US into projects in Kansas and America looking for what we've already found. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. These are some of the success factors that we've gone through. I'll leave them for you. But one of them, which I'd like to go back to, is we just did complete a 570 line kilometre 2D seismic over that green permit, and that's showing that we have extensions and a large regional play for where the hydrogen and the helium is located. We will have multiple drill targets across that permit area. And I'll bring you back to that map. Here's our key team. They've all been around the industry for a very long time. We are leading the race in natural hydrogen and natural helium from a non-petroleum system. There is no petroleum in these systems. There's no carbon in these systems. This is really unique. Our board, Alexander Downer is our chairman. He's a South Australian. This used to be part of his electorate. He's very well internationally connected around the world. Catherine Barnett is a audit accountant and financial accountant, receiver accountant by background, very helpful skill sets for us. Roger Cressy's been in the industry for a very long time in this industry, and Carl Schlobom's been in this sector and this industry. He's in junior sort for decades. He'll be at the booth with me today. If you have any questions, please come and see us. But I'd just like you to finish with, I'll go back to the first slide and show you our area and what we're doing, and to leave it with you. So there, that permit there, that one we've shown, we've just done that seismic program over the whole area. So we know there's multiple drill targets coming that I just wanted to highlight. And I'll leave you with that slide. Thank you very much for your attention today. Please come up to the booth if you've got further queries.